Attraction isn't about looks. It's about how you carry yourself. You can be the most physically beautiful person in the world and still be invisible. Why? Because what makes someone truly magnetic isn't in the mirror. It's in the mind. It's how you move, how you speak, how you command space. It's presence, strength, intelligence, and it's not something you're born with. It's something you build. Let's start with the first thing that pulls people toward you without even trying: confidence through preparation. Confidence is not a feeling. It's a skill. You become confident when you've done the work, when you've read the books, shown up early, asked the questions, and trained when no one's watching. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room. Just be the most prepared. That quiet certainty you carry with you, that's what people respond to. That's what they remember. Now, let's talk about how you speak. Clarity is power. If you ramble, you lose people. If you over-explain, you sound unsure. But if you speak with precision, with purpose, you gain respect. People listen. Attractive people don't just talk. They communicate. They use fewer words, but each one matters. Learn to pause. Learn to own silence. Because when you do speak, you want every syllable to land. Next comes self-discipline. This is where most people fall. It's easy to say, "I want better," but it's rare to follow through. Discipline is magnetic because it's rare. When people see you honoring your commitments, getting up at 5 a.m., pushing through the hard days, saying no to distractions, they're drawn to that energy because it tells them this person is in control. And control? That's powerful. That's attractive. But control isn't just about habits. It's about emotions too. The ability to stay calm when things fall apart. That's strength. That's mastery. Anyone can yell. Anyone can break down. But when you stay collected, composed, grounded, you shift the dynamic. Emotional control means you don't give your power away. You own it. You direct it. That composure, that inner stillness, makes people lean in. Because in a world of overreaction, stability is rare, and rare is magnetic. People who are truly attractive have strong boundaries. They know where they begin and where they end. They don't overextend themselves to be liked. They don't say yes out of fear of disappointing others. They say yes because they mean it, and no because they have to. When you respect your time, your space, your peace, others do too. That's not selfish. That's self-worth. Then there's your body language. Eye contact, posture, presence. You could walk into a room wearing the trendiest outfit, but if you're slouching, avoiding eye contact, shrinking yourself, no one notices you. Stand tall, chin up, shoulders back. Look people in the eye, not to intimidate, but to connect. When you walk like someone who has nothing to prove but everything to offer, you shift the room without saying a word. The way you speak matters, but even more important is why you speak. Don't speak just to fill space. Speak when it counts. Speak with purpose. Every word should be intentional. When you do that, you won't need to demand attention. It'll be given to you freely. Your voice becomes a tool, not a noise. Speak to connect, to impact, to elevate. That's influence. Authenticity is one of the most underrated traits in attraction. You don't need to perform. You don't need to become who people want you to be. The moment you stop seeking approval is the moment you become undeniable. Be real, even when it's uncomfortable. Be honest, even when it's not popular. People are starving for truth, so be the one who gives it to them. And finally, listen. Really listen. In a world full of people talking over each other, the person who listens stands out. Not fake listening, not nodding while thinking of what to say next. I'm talking about listening to understand. Listening to connect. Give someone your full attention, and you become unforgettable. Because what makes someone attractive isn't always how they speak. Sometimes it's how they make others feel heard. Confidence through preparation. Confidence isn't something you either have or you don't. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's earned. It's built in the dark, behind closed doors, when nobody's clapping for you. It's built every time you choose discipline over comfort. Every time you show up prepared when others just show up. Real confidence doesn't scream. It doesn't need validation. It comes from knowing that you've done the work, that you've trained harder, studied deeper, and practiced longer than anyone else in the room. You want to walk in and own the room? Then prepare so thoroughly that your presence speaks before you do. That's where presence comes from. Not from how loud you talk or how much you show off, but from quiet certainty. When you've put in the reps, you don't question yourself. You don't seek approval. You're not waiting for someone to tell you you're good enough. You already know. That internal assurance, that unshakable calm, is what draws people in. Because when everyone else is guessing, you're grounded. That's rare. That's powerful. Preparation gives you power because it removes fear. The fear of being caught off guard, the fear of not knowing, the fear of not being enough. When you've prepared, fear doesn't control you. You control it. You've rehearsed the tough conversations in your head. You've studied the facts. You've visualized the outcome. So when the moment comes, it's not new to you. It's just the next step in the plan you've already trained for. Most people want to be confident, but don't want to do what it takes to earn it. They want the reward without the routine. But here's the truth. Confidence without preparation is just arrogance. It's fragile. It crumbles the second you're challenged. But the kind of confidence that comes from showing up day after day, sweating the details, refining your skills, that confidence holds. That confidence leads. You don't need to know everything. You just need to prepare better than most. That's your edge. When you study a little more, when you research deeper, when you rehearse again, even though you're tired, those little moments stack up. They turn into composure, into control, into confidence that radiates without needing to be announced. That's what makes you magnetic. That's what sets you apart. Because when people see someone who's calm, sharp, and composed under pressure, they know it's not luck. They know it's not a front. They can feel it. This person is solid. This person came ready. And in a world full of people faking confidence, the one who actually earned it stands out without trying. That's what I want you to understand. Don't wait to feel confident. Train until you become confident. Confidence is preparation in motion. Every time you show up for yourself, you build it. So the next time you walk into the room, don't just hope to be respected. Command it. Quietly, powerfully, through preparation. Clear communication. If you want to be taken seriously, speak like someone who means every word. The way you communicate reflects your mind. When your words are cluttered, unclear, or hesitant, people tune out. Not because they don't care, but because you didn't give them a reason to listen. Communication is power. Not just speaking, but speaking with impact. That means stripping away the fluff, the fillers, the need for approval in every sentence. Speak with intention. Don't talk just to talk. When you walk into a room, your energy introduces you. But when you open your mouth, your words define you. And if those words are weak, scattered, or uncertain, so is the impression you leave behind. You don't need a big vocabulary or a perfect script. You need clarity. You need purpose behind your words. Every sentence you speak should carry direction. Don't water down your ideas with 10 unnecessary sentences when one bold sentence will do. The strongest people I know don't talk much, but when they do, everyone listens. Because their words have been chosen, their thoughts are focused, and they don't waste time trying to impress you. They're too busy expressing the truth. That's what draws people in. Not volume, not dramatics, but clarity. When you're unsure of yourself, it shows in how you speak. You'll over-explain, apologize before you even start. Add 5 disclaimers to every point. That's not being humble. That's handing over your power. Say what you mean. And if someone disagrees, so be it. You don't exist to be palatable. You exist to be heard. And being heard starts by trusting your voice. Stand by your words, own your ideas, speak like your thoughts are worth listening to, because they are. But first, you have to believe that. Watch how often you say sorry when you haven't done anything wrong. Or how often you add, I think, or I'm not sure, but, to statements you know are true. These are habits of uncertainty. Break them. Replace them with strength, with structure. If you're in a meeting, if you're giving feedback, if you're simply stating a fact, say it clean, say it firm, say it once. That's how leaders talk. That's how professionals get taken seriously. And more importantly, that's how people with presence speak. Your tone matters too. Don't rush. Don't mumble. Take your time. When you pause, you allow others to catch up. And when you slow down, your words sink in deeper. Rushing your speech is a form of insecurity. It tells the world you're afraid you'll lose their attention. But when you trust that what you're saying has value, you speak at your pace. You let your words breathe. So many people want to be seen. Fewer want to be understood. The difference lies in communication. Clear speech isn't about being loud. It's about being unmistakable. It's the difference between noise and influence. One fills a room, the other moves it. Self-discipline. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is what changes your life. You're not always going to feel like doing the hard thing. You won't always be inspired, excited, or confident. But the people who stand out, the ones you admire, they don't wait for motivation. They rely on discipline. That's the muscle. That's the edge. It's waking up and showing up whether you feel like it or not. It's keeping the promise you made to yourself, long after the mood you made it in has disappeared. That's what makes you unstoppable. Discipline isn't flashy. It's not loud. It doesn't get applause or instant results. But it's doing the small, consistent, boring things that build something big. It's saying no to what's easy so you can say yes to what actually matters. It's closing the app, turning off the distraction, and getting back to the work. And it's in those moments, when no one's watching, when you're tired, when no one will know if you skip it, that you build character. That's where strength is formed. Not in public, in private. People talk a lot about self-love, but let's be real. Self-love isn't bubble baths and treats. It's discipline. It's doing the uncomfortable things that future you will thank you for. It's managing your time, protecting your energy, and making choices that align with who you want to become. Self-discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It's standing guard at the door of your habits and not letting weakness walk in unchallenged. And here's the truth. Disciplined people are attractive because they're in control. They don't let cravings run their day. They don't let moods dictate their actions. They lead themselves. And that kind of leadership doesn't need to be loud. It speaks in results, in presence, in how they carry themselves, how they speak, how they walk into a room. You can tell when someone has standards for their life. You can feel it. Self-discipline isn't about punishment. It's about freedom. When you're disciplined, you're not tossed around by emotion or distraction. You have direction. You move with purpose. That's magnetic. That's power. And no one can give it to you. You have to build it, day by day, rep by rep, choice by choice. You want more focus? Practice discipline. You want better habits? Discipline. You want to be taken seriously, to be respected, to have influence. Then learn to rule yourself. Because if you can't lead you, how can you lead anyone else? People will try to sell you shortcuts, quick fixes, hacks. Don't fall for it. There is no substitute for the work. There is no replacement for discipline. It is the separator, the quiet advantage. And when the motivation fades, when no one's watching, when quitting looks easier, that's when discipline steps in. And that's when you grow into someone even you didn't think was possible. Emotional control. Real strength isn't proven in how loud you are. It's in how calm you stay. The world tests you. People will provoke you. Pressure will rise. But your ability to remain composed under fire is what separates you from the rest. Anyone can react. Anyone can lash out. But to pause, breathe, and choose your response with purpose? That's leadership. That's power. Emotional control isn't about suppressing how you feel. It's about mastering it. It's being aware enough to recognize your emotions, but strong enough not to be ruled by them. We live in a time where everyone wants to be heard, where everyone's offended, triggered, reactive, but reacting to everything doesn't make you strong, it makes you easy to control. If someone can push your buttons, they own you. Emotional intelligence means you know where your buttons are, and you don't hand that power to anyone. You don't let someone's ignorance steal your peace. You don't allow a disrespectful comment to throw off your entire day. That's not weakness. That's discipline in action. You choose how you show up every time. People watch how you respond, in moments of stress, in moments of confrontation, in high-pressure situations where most people lose themselves. The way you handle yourself when things go sideways speaks louder than any words you say. Staying cool under pressure makes people trust you, respect you, follow you. Because in a crisis, they don't want the loudest person. They want the calmest, the one who sees clearly, the one who leads. You want to be magnetic? Learn to hold your ground emotionally. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not every opinion needs a reply. When someone disrespects you, the strongest move isn't retaliation. It's refusing to be brought down to their level. That silence, that stillness, that ability to keep your center, it says more than any comeback ever could. That's presence. That's power without words. And when emotion rises, anger, fear, frustration, you don't deny it. You acknowledge it. You feel it. But you don't let it take the wheel. You redirect it. You turn anger into drive. You turn fear into focus. Emotional control is about choice. It's about being so grounded in who you are that outside chaos doesn't shake your internal compass. That's what makes people lean in. That's what makes them listen when you speak. Because they can sense, this person isn't moved by drama. This person doesn't flinch. This person is solid. It doesn't mean you're cold. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you decide how you process, how you respond, and how you carry yourself. That level of self-mastery is rare, and rare draws attention. Rare builds influence. When you operate from a place of control rather than chaos, you don't just protect your energy, you elevate it. You become the anchor in the storm. And in today's world, that's unforgettable. Respect for boundaries. If you want to be respected, you need to respect yourself first. And that starts with boundaries. Not everyone should have access to you. Not every message needs a response. Not every demand deserves your time. When you don't set limits, you teach people that you have none. And let me be clear, boundaries are not walls to push others away. They are fences to protect your peace, your energy, your values. When someone crosses a line, it's not their fault for stepping. It's yours for not drawing it clearly. Respect isn't asked for, it's enforced. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. You train them through your silence or your standards. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you chip away at your own power. And when you constantly put others first at the expense of yourself, that's not kindness. It's self-abandonment. Real strength is being able to say no without explaining yourself, without guilt, and without fear of rejection. Because saying no doesn't make you difficult. It makes you clear. People might not like it when you first start setting boundaries. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them adjust. You're not here to make others feel better at your own expense. You're not a doormat. You're not a lifeline for people who refuse to help themselves. You're not obligated to fix, to please, to absorb, or to overextend. You are responsible for your life, your priorities, and your mental clarity. And the moment you start protecting those things fiercely, your life will change. You want to be more attractive? Set high standards, not just in who you allow into your space, but in how you allow them to treat you. Don't settle for crumbs when you know you bring the whole table. Boundaries don't push the right people away. They filter the wrong ones out. They attract people who respect time, effort, and presence, and repel those who only come to take, drain, and demand. When you respect yourself, you'll stop entertaining what disrespects you. This isn't about being rude. It's about being rooted. There's a difference between being cold and being clear. And if someone calls you too much for protecting your peace, that just means they were benefiting from your lack of boundaries. Let them go. Not everyone gets to walk with you, and that's okay. The more you grow, the more you'll realize how valuable your time and energy are. And the less you'll allow people to waste either. Boundaries are confidence in action. They say, I know who I am. I know what I need, and I refuse to compromise on my values just to fit in, be accepted, or keep the peace. That kind of energy is magnetic because it's rare. People respect those who respect themselves. You don't need to yell to be heard. Just be solid in your no. Be firm in your standards. Be unapologetic in your self-worth. And most importantly, uphold your own boundaries. Don't preach limits to others and then betray yourself behind closed doors. If you say you're not checking your phone after 9 p.m., honor it. If you say you're unavailable on your off day, protect it. That integrity with yourself is what builds true confidence. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce the belief that your needs matter and that you're someone worth protecting. You don't need to do everything for everyone to be liked. You don't need to say yes to be accepted. You don't owe your time, attention, or presence to anyone who disrespects your values. Give yourself permission to choose you. Draw the line, hold it, and don't feel bad for building a life that honors your worth. Eye contact and posture. Before you even open your mouth, you've already said something. People read you in seconds. The way you walk into a room, the way you hold your body, the way you look someone in the eyes or avoid it altogether, that's communication. And in many cases, it's louder than your voice. If you want to be taken seriously, you have to carry yourself like someone who believes they belong. Because when you walk like you doubt yourself, when you slouch, shrink, or avoid eye contact, people feel that, and they respond accordingly. Posture isn't just about your back, it's about your presence. Stand tall. Keep your shoulders open, not hunched forward like you're bracing for the world. Hold your head high, not arrogantly, but like someone who's grounded, someone who respects themselves. Because how you treat your body is how the world will treat you. When you carry yourself with confidence, people won't just notice you, they'll remember you. And when you pair that with calm, direct eye contact, you send a clear message: I am here, I am not hiding, and I am not to be overlooked. Eye contact doesn't mean staring someone down. It means connection. It means presence. It means you're not afraid to be seen, and you're fully engaged in the moment. People trust those who look them in the eyes. They listen more. They pay attention. But when your gaze shifts too much, when you're constantly looking down or away, it signals uncertainty. That's not the impression you want to leave, especially when you're trying to lead, influence, or make an impact. Confidence is nonverbal before it's verbal. People see it before they hear it. And don't just use eye contact when you're speaking, use it when you're listening. That's where real power is. Listening with full attention, without looking around the room, checking your phone, or letting your eyes drift, tells the person in front of you that they matter. And when people feel seen, they gravitate toward you. That's not manipulation. That's presence. That's emotional intelligence in motion. You want to stand out? Start by standing up straight. Not just physically, but mentally. Hold yourself like someone who has nothing to prove, but everything to offer. Your presence should walk in before your words do. Because when you walk with intention, people feel it. When you make eye contact with certainty, people trust it. When your body language aligns with your confidence, you don't have to convince anyone of your worth. They sense it. You don't need fancy clothes. You don't need status. You don't need approval. What you need is to own your space without apology. Your body tells your story before your voice does. So write a story worth reading. Walk into every room like you earned your place there, because you have. Look people in the eyes, stand like you mean it, and show up with the kind of presence that doesn't beg to be noticed, but demands it, quietly and powerfully, speaking with intention. There's a difference between talking and communicating, between filling space and commanding it. Powerful people don't speak to be heard, they speak to be understood. Every word has weight. Every sentence has purpose. They don't waste breath proving themselves. They speak when it matters. And when they do, it's with focus, with clarity, with direction. You want to influence? Then be intentional with your voice. Don't talk to impress. Talk to connect. Don't use words as noise. Use them as tools. What you say has the ability to inspire, to lead, to change the temperature in the room, but only if it's delivered with precision. People can tell when you're just talking to talk, when you're trying to fill the silence, rambling, explaining, apologizing before you even begin. That's not strength. That's fear of judgment. That's needing validation. And you don't need it. Speak as though your words matter, because they do. Speak as though time is valuable, yours and theirs. Because every moment you spend saying what you don't mean, you weaken what you do mean. Choose what you say, know why you're saying it. Then say it like you mean it, and you don't need to speak all the time. Silence is not weakness, it's control, it's composure. The most powerful person in the room is rarely the one doing the most talking. It's the one who listens, watches, evaluates, and speaks when the moment calls for it. There's strength in restraint. When you learn to pause before you speak, to consider your words, you begin to develop real influence. Not just noise, not just presence, impact. When you do speak, let your tone match your intent. Be firm, not aggressive. Be clear, not cold. Be real, not rehearsed. Your voice should reflect your strength, not hide it behind performance. And if you don't know something, say so. There is power in honesty. You don't have to know everything. You just have to own your truth, deliver it with integrity, and speak from a place of purpose. People feel that. They respond to it, and more importantly, they remember it. So many people chase attention with their words, but few build trust. And trust is what attracts. When your speech is intentional, when your message is clear, when your delivery is confident, you don't need to convince anyone. You become convincing. There's a gravity to someone who knows exactly what they want to say and doesn't clutter it with doubt, apology, or pretense. Speak less, but say more. Be direct, but never careless. Think before you open your mouth, not because you're afraid, but because you respect your voice too much to use it carelessly. That's the difference between being heard and being respected. It's not about the volume of your voice. It's about the value of your message. And when you speak with intention, people listen, not because they have to, but because they want to. Authenticity. The most magnetic people aren't flawless, they're real. In a world obsessed with filters and facades, authenticity is a radical act. It's showing up exactly as you are, without apology or disguise. You don't have to pretend to be perfect. You don't have to fit into someone else's mold or play a character to be liked or respected. When you stop performing for others and start embracing your true self, something powerful happens. People are drawn to you, not despite your flaws, but because of them. Authenticity is strength because it takes courage to be vulnerable, to stand firm in who you are when it would be easier to blend in or hide. People can sense when you're being fake. It's exhausting for them, and even more exhausting for you. Pretending to be someone you're not drains your energy and dilutes your power. But when you speak your truth, when you align your actions with your values, you radiate a confidence that's impossible to ignore. That confidence is magnetic. It says, I know who I am, I'm comfortable in my skin, and I won't apologize for it. That's not arrogance. That's self-respect. And people respect that. They want to be around someone who is genuine, not someone who's always trying to sell them an illusion. Authenticity also means embracing your imperfections, not hiding them. It means acknowledging your weaknesses alongside your strengths. It means being honest about where you've been, what you've learned, and who you're becoming. That kind of transparency creates connection. It creates trust, because no one expects you to be perfect, but they do expect you to be real. When you allow yourself to be seen fully without masks, you invite others to do the same. And that creates relationships and respect that run deeper than surface-level approval. Being authentic isn't about oversharing or being reckless with your truth. It's about being intentional with who you reveal and how you carry yourself. It's about living your values consistently, even when no one is watching. It's about making choices that reflect who you really are, not who you think others want you to be. That consistency builds integrity, and integrity is magnetic. People trust those who are reliable in their authenticity. They know where they stand with them. And in a world full of uncertainty and pretense, that kind of reliability is priceless. When you choose authenticity, you stop chasing validation. You stop molding yourself to fit in or to please. You stop shrinking yourself to avoid conflict or rejection. Instead, You stand tall with your unique voice, your unique story, and your unique power. You become someone who commands attention, not because you demand it, but because you are genuine. That energy can't be faked, bought, or taught. It has to come from within. And when it does, it changes everything. Listening skills. Most people listen with the intent to respond, not to understand. They're waiting for their turn to talk instead of truly hearing what's being said. But real attraction comes from something far deeper than speaking well. It comes from the ability to listen fully. When you give someone your undivided attention, when you lean in and absorb their words without interruption, you show respect, empathy, and presence. That level of listening is rare, and that rarity makes you stand out. People feel valued when they're truly heard, and that feeling is magnetic. It draws them closer, makes them trust you, and opens doors that words alone never could. Listening isn't passive. It's an active skill, a discipline. It requires you to quiet the noise inside your own head, to set aside your judgments, assumptions, and the urge to fix or offer advice. Instead, you create space for someone else's story, emotions, and perspective. That space is powerful because it tells people, you matter, your voice matters, your experience matters. When you listen this way, you build connection, not just conversation. And connection is the foundation of influence, respect, and attraction. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Phones buzzing, eyes wandering, minds racing. But when you commit to listening with intent, you rise above the noise. You become fully present in the moment. You make the person in front of you feel like they're the most important person in the room. That kind of presence isn't just attractive, it's unforgettable. People remember how you made them feel more than what you said. And listening well creates a feeling of being understood, seen, and valued that is rare and precious. Great listeners don't just hear words, they notice tone, body language, and emotion beneath the surface. They ask thoughtful questions, clarify meaning, and show genuine curiosity. That attentiveness demonstrates respect and builds trust. When you listen well, you don't just gather information, you gather influence. You learn what really matters to people, what motivates them, and how to connect on a deeper level. The best communicators are first and foremost great listeners. If you want to be magnetic, start by shutting up and tuning in. Stop waiting to speak, and start showing you care. Because in the end, the most powerful way to be heard is to listen. You've learned that true attraction isn't skin deep. It's not the curve of your smile or the clothes you wear. It's how you carry yourself when no one's watching. It's the habits you build that shape your mind, your heart, and your presence in this world. Strength, confidence, and magnetic energy come from within, and they're forged through intention and discipline. The power you seek is already inside you. It's waiting for you to claim it. You don't need to change who you are to be more attractive. You need to own who you are with courage and clarity. Every step you take toward mastering these habits is a step toward becoming someone who commands respect and admiration naturally. When you prepare relentlessly, speak with purpose, control your emotions, and protect your boundaries, you become someone who doesn't chase attention, you draws it. You don't need validation from others because you validate yourself every day by showing up fully, honestly, and intentionally. That kind of self-possession can't be faked, it can't be bought, it can't be taken away. Attraction isn't about trying harder. It's about being stronger. It's about standing firm in your truth and refusing to shrink for anyone or anything. When you live with authenticity, when you listen deeply, and when you communicate with clarity, you build a presence that can't be ignored. People sense strength. They respond to confidence. They gravitate toward those who live with intention. And that presence, your presence, is your most powerful asset. Remember, this journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about choosing every day to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. It's about resilience when things get tough and commitment when motivation fades. Because real attractiveness is built on consistency over time, not a momentary flash. It's earned by those who decide to lead themselves before leading others. You have the ability to transform your life by transforming the habits that shape you. The question is, will you step into that power? Will you commit to the daily work of becoming more confident, more disciplined, more emotionally intelligent? Will you protect your energy with boundaries and show up in every conversation fully present? Will you speak your truth and listen with intent? The answer lies with you. But know this, when you decide to embody these habits, you don't just change how others see you change how you see yourself. You become unstoppable. You become magnetic. You become the person who attracts not just eyes, but respect. Not just admiration, but loyalty. Not just followers, but real connections. So stand tall. Speak clearly, listen deeply, protect your space, and above all, carry yourself like the powerful, authentic person you are. Because true attractiveness isn't something you find, it's something you build. And once you build it, nothing can take it away.